Day 2 of New York LAN Omega Strikers. We are here starting off top 16 today with Last Call and Saya. Who is Last Call first today?
They're against Ghret Esports, 2/3 of the Bozo bunch plus Waterfury. That is a pretty good team.
That's an impressive showing, top 16 already. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this game is a BO1.
Yes.
Okay.
Top 8 is best of 3, but until we get there, it is best of 1 due to the game length of Omega Strikers. And if you don't know, Omega Strikers game length is kind of closer to League of Legends nowadays. If you've only encountered beta Omega Strikers, that was back when games could take as short as like 3 minutes.
Yep, 100%. So now with the addition of rounds being introduced to the game and each round being a best of 5, we can get games typically around 30 minutes, but I would say, or as long as 30 minutes, but usually they tend to hover around the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and taking a look at the draft here, we got Orb Dancer and Deadeye on Night Market. And of course the Vice ban coming out. Ghret in particular, Muncher, has been playing a lot of Vice recently, has been doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, Vice is such a powerful pick, especially with the Deadeye start. It doesn't look like they were worried about anyone picking up Luna. Luna's another popular ban on this Deadeye start, targeting specifically the Vice here, who I know Borg can also play pretty well. But instead, we have Last Call banning away Vice, Asher being a banned away from Frightfully Fresh, and then pick one. Looks like we're going with an X into now Estelle, followed by Kai Mako. A pretty standard comp here from Last Call, where they put 3Z on X, Fresh piloting the Mako really well, and then midfield Kai coming for them. And then on the other side of Ghret Esports, now is such a crazy character. Muncher has been doing amazing this NASL season, and this is something that, let's take a look at how well he performs on this now. It's probably going to come down to a really big midfield matchup between Borg and I.
Yeah, definitely going to be a midfield matchup. Taking a look at the Awakenings, Orb Dancer, of course, has risen in popularity over the past few weeks. It is a very strong Awakening that gives you a burst of speed on that Orb collection, and with all 3 members in the midfield taking it, we see a lot of scrambling there as Borg is dribbling up and down, and Kai is not a character we see often from Borg, I think. Most often seen on the Vice and the Estelle after the midfield swap, so we'll have to see how Borg does, because this doesn't really feel like too much of a conventional comp.
Yeah, I would say besides the Kai, which I have seen Borg play plenty of times in scrims and stuff, but he has been putting more practice on that Vice. Oh, and a quick early point here for Last Call. But going back to what I was saying is, typically, like you said, we see Borg on the Estelle, sometimes the Now, and the Vice. And especially the Amy, too. So Kai is something that I know he plays well, just hasn't really been brought out yet. And it's a map where you don't see Kai midfield as much. You tend to see more Kai goalie on Night Market than anything else. So I'm curious to see what advantages Borg believes that this pick has in the midfield. But starting off, we can already see how I is piloting the Now, using that ultimate to kind of give himself a free eject button to blink there, blink back, get a barrier out. And you can already see the playmaking potential that Now has.
Yeah. We saw some great Now gameplay by Streak as well in the goalie position yesterday, getting a blink KO, but watch out, that's a double barrier, and Last Call are just pushing forward really quickly, but of course, Muncher is there to help rotate. 3Z Breezy, though, still lingering in the goal box. That Estelle goalie is going to have a lot of trouble against the X up close, but if Waterfury can keep 3Z at a distance, then he will be chilling.
Almost getting the KO with the strike shot over there. Waterfury had the plan in mind. 3Z just barely living, still staggered. Some pressure being put on him, and the combo of strike shot into Estelle primary there to finish him off. 3Z being taken down, barrier drop. Goal gates are open for Last Call. They have to handle this power play well, but Dropleto pushing everything he has to try to get it through, and a good defense from both Borg and Fresh hold it down to let 3Z come back.
Yeah, patient strikes by Fresh and an amazing ensnare drums. Doesn't quite trap the core, but prevents it from being flipped in 3Z. Not quite getting the strike there, but still maintaining possession. Notes in the hands of Dropleto, pushing forward, dribbling over absolutely everybody, and getting it through Frightfully Fresh.
Wonderful placement by Dropleto there, kind of finding the field goal between both Fresh and Borg, and managed to get it just with a simple strike. Tying it up 1-1, already a phenomenal game.
Already phenomenal, and we're going to see Ghret Esports kind of come to life here as a good passing play by Muncher to Dropleto, but watch out, that Now is not what she used to be, a very killable character nowadays.
Yeah, a solid nerf to the stagger pool of Now, and also a slight speed nerf in the most recent patch. is bringing now more in line with the rest of the crew here. But one thing to note is that Kai, I believe, is tied, or if not, has the highest base movement speed in the game, and that is one of the advantages that Borg can use to kind of outmaneuver now in the midfield.
Oh no, Waterfury! Uncharacteristic miss strike right in front of the core, and that will be last call taking the lead here. And a win in the first set would be absolutely huge for them, of course, not letting the Now get the first pick, but also with an X on their team, the scaling potential.
You also have, because of the orb start, getting the other orb, which Orb of Pondering, is a really high prio for everyone in this game. So the draft, whichever draft it ends up popping in, you want to be the winner of that specific draft. Oh, but a good combo from I and Dropleto there to get Borg off the map there. And I'm not sure if Borg had Energy Burst, but if he did, that was a good value trade for them. 3Z Breezy and Frightfully Fresh. Ooh, 3Z going a little bit too backwards, sending the core back towards Fresh there, but a good recovery allows him to get a barrier while using that X Maximus. And now we're back to a position where I like how Dropleto is trying to approach this attack, where you kind of attack the barrier from the side of the barrier you've already taken.
Yeah, and Dropleto's going in for a strike war. Can't quite do it, but Frightfully Fresh has been chipped down to almost nothing. The projectile from Now, the drone in projectile form is enough. A strike war win, no flip from 3Z at 2-2. 0.5 already. It's incredibly close.
Very surprising the damage coming out from that Now drone. The primary doing so much that was able to finish off Fresh and then send him back in his ult gold net and gave him the opportunity to score there. So now we're tied 2-2, final point of set 1. Only energy burst available. Actually, one energy burst on each side, 3Z Breezy and Waterfury. But it is first last call who dropped their barriers. Borg looking extremely low here. 3Z walking up, is trying to get in position to use his own energy burst, but just doesn't have the opportunity to. And they're under so much pressure there. Dropleto using the pendulum swing to KO Borg, and now it is a power play. While having both barriers still up for themselves, Waterfury can play so much more aggressively. And this is looking really good for Ghret Esports.
Yeah, they drop one barrier, but it's only a single one, and Borg back, but Muncher with the dribbles around gets all the way around, and 3Z have to use the flip defensively in the power play for Ghret Esports. So last call, kind of out of resources at the moment, but 3Z Breezy has the speed, has the X Maximus, breaks the barriers, and suddenly in position to score potentially. A good ensnare drum to trap the core, but it goes backwards, and Muncher interrupts, top side, trying to cover the dribble, and will just strike for the projectile simply against Frightfully Fresh. That's the first set to Ghret Esports.
A great job there from Muncher. I like how, if you guys watch that specific play, he struck the ball up, did not chase after it, waited to get the speed gate to ensure that he would have enough speed to make a play with the rebound as well, after he took a shot on that. And that extra speed is what gave him the movement that he needed to catch up to the core there.
Yeah, and it was drifted in a pretty awkward place too for the goalie, yes. Right? Fresh really wanted the projectile to try and get it back, but the angle was just really unfortunate.
Usually you see the opposite, where when you want to hit the corner angle, you end up hitting the flat part to send it back to you. And in this case, I think almost the opposite happened, where you kind of wanted to hit the flat part to get a rebound there, but it ended up sending it over to Now. And taking a look at the draft here, one big thing to note is that we don't see an orb start or orb of Ponderer picked up, but Quick Strikes ends up going to I, which is a huge pickup. We get size on Dropleto in the form of Rampage, and then Perfect Form going over to Waterfury, which will help significantly in that just spamming out goalie abilities. It helps on the strikes, and then you also get it on the light hits and the heavy hits.
Yeah, and both barriers down now. A little bit more pressure on Waterfury here. Both Muncher backing up in the midfield. They're going to have a much better time. 3Z Breezy, although staggered, still looking for the goal, trying to be sent off the map, but Borg is the one who pushes forward. Waterfury with a critical strike war win on the goal line to keep it away as Borg continues to try and force it through. But I's just winning these strike wars, just winning these interactions, and 3Z Breezy's not getting the core until now. No, still staggered, still knocked away just enough and KO'd finally. And Ghret Esports are going to try to use this power play to the most that they can.
Oh, great maneuvering there by Muncher, or sorry, I. Goes back, catches the core, comes back, protects them from that core flip. And now, even though 3Z Breezy is back, and it is Ghret Esports that don't have barriers up, they're still managing to play really aggressive here. And the orbs, that's one other thing, is that with the KO on 3Z, his 5 stacks of orbs are gone, and Dropleto, making a play off the barrier, manages to get the point with the pendulum swing, hitting both Fresh and the core.
Yeah, quick first goal, and Ghret Esports looking good. FaZe look like they are in control of the pace of the game. It looks like Last Call just trying to react, trying to get the core to Dreezy, but Last Call just can't really maintain possession.
Yeah, and we can see the difference purely off of the levels of all the characters, right? Take a look at 3Z and Dropleto, level 7 on the Rasmus here versus level 4 on 3Z, who's, for the most part, hasn't been able to participate in the plays outside very few moments. But a good attempt there, or I should say a good pass from Borg brings the core up to 3Z. X Maximus allows him to break that final barrier here, but taking the barriers down is not enough. We have to finish these points off. And Borg using the Kai Barrage there isn't able to finish off the point. A good primary from Fresh, but Dropleto catching it, getting that first barrier. And now the core, like you said, the possession seems to be most of the time with Ghret Esports. A little bit greedy there by 3Z. Does manage to get the KO there, but I think he was expecting the point to go in there and was going to hold on to his energy burst.
Yeah, really just wanted X Maximus confirm, but that might come back to bite them here. As 3Z Breezy almost misses the goal, but Borg is there on the follow-up, saves the day. It's 1-1 now.
Borg correcting the angle a little bit. There was a chance there that if Borg didn't hit that, I think that was being saved.
Yeah, I think Ghret Esports had that in the bag, but Borg now the one building up a lot of meter. Same with Fresh. Some core flips going to come online for Last Call here. Energy burst's going to be important defensive and offensive endurance, but Muncher is just everywhere with that speed and a really fast barrier take on the top side.
Yeah, we can see the damage coming out. Dropleto getting hit quite a bit here from just being the general vicinity of all these abilities. Pretty low at this point. We're finally get staggered off the Kai Barrage, but that's one ability down. He's trying his best to stay alive here, and the best way to do that is not necessarily to run away, but to stay towards the middle of the map. Position yourself in a way where a hit cannot KO you. A good Rose Warp from Waterfury manages to protect their barrier, and now it is once again Ghret Esports who have the advantage, forcing the flip out of Frightfully Fresh. 3Z Breezy with a good play there, catches the rebound from Waterfury, managed to break that barrier, and now we're tied up in this point number 3. But Muncher finding the angle there, Fresh expecting him to go to the top of the net, but finds the angle between both of them to send it in.
Expertly played by I. And yeah, like you said, it's just really good at being present there on the offense. It's being the second strike, being the rebound catcher, and that's what Dropleto is going to try to be, as unfortunately the hook sends it backwards. But Muncher barely staying alive, finally taken down by 3Z Breezy. This KO could be huge, especially when 3Z and Borg are coming up on energy bursts here.
Yeah, and that was a lot of damage that was put onto the now there, both from, I believe it was Frightfully Fresh on the Mako, who sent a primary over. And that paired with 3Z, a good combo send. We can see how low. This is a level 8 character, and their stagger is so low. But the stagger isn't needed at all because Dropleto and I just making the play and getting it in 3-1. It wasn't even a set or 0.5 this time, Saya. That was a quick round.
Yeah, it was quick, it was decisive, and now this draft is a little scary. Of course, my eyes personally on that Catalyst. Quick strikes already on I. So the energy economy is going to swing in a crazy way here.
Yeah, the Catalyst is such a huge pick up there because there's so many hitboxes being sent out from Last Call. And if they don't manage to finish it, there's just going to be an enormous amount of extra energy being put into the economy here, specifically for Dropleto. Looking at the other drafts here, we got 1-2 Punch picked up for 3Z. Reptile Remedy, which will give Frightfully Fresh some more stagger, but more so it is also a deny away from I on the now, who is still at a insanely low stagger total. You can see there that is 1,200 stagger compared to, for example, Frightfully Fresh on 2,000. Besides that, we have Stinger picked up for now, who is a good applier of Stinger. It is a lot of hitboxes that frequently come out. But besides that, it's looking like a pretty standard draft. The biggest thing being picked up there is the Catalyst for sure. So let's see how Ghret Esports managed to handle it. A good pendulum swing from Dropleto gets that final barrier here. And it's starting off similar to the last set with Ghret Esports maintaining control.
Yeah, Dropleto's getting in there and once again building up the flips so quickly. Basically like a half a bar quicker than the side of Last Call. You don't even need flips when Dropleto is catching the clears from Fresh like that. And unfortunately, Last Call, I think, just getting outpaced by Ghret Esports. The speed is coming into play as well.
Yeah, and one of the things that I want to point out here is watch the way the offense unfolds for both of these teams. A lot of the times you'll see that it is I who is vertical to Dropleto, catching a lot of these rebounds. Oh my goodness, what a quick shot. Yeah. Waterfury from the goal line, secure that point. This is, I mean, this is match point here. I didn't expect to get to this this part of the game so quick.
Yeah, set one, it looked like a 5-set banger. It still could be, but it'll take a lot from last call to make that happen as Muncher accelerates the core forward again. The fully formed now primary, sending it so far forward. Dropleto finds the sniper around the ensnare drums, and with the barriers open, this goal is not long for this world unless Freezy Breezy can pull off a miracle on the offense.
Trying their best here. Manages to get a KO onto the goalie, which is absolutely huge, but Dropleto not taking any opportunity to hesitate here, trying to go for that goal, even with Waterfury down. A good rush there by 3D Breezy. Manages to get the core onto the barrier, and then a rebound on that top corner. Finally gets to that point. And last call is clawing their way back in, but they're trying their best here.
They are trying their best, and a point like that is good, definitely good for the morale. If you could claw your way back from 2 barriers down, then I think you can claw your way back from anything. 0-2 comfort zone perhaps, as Fresh and Borg do have full meter. We'll use it, but Waterfury will send the core away.
One thing I want to point out here is you can see as Dropleto comes up, how much forward I manages to move, but will quickly retreat back to the midfield position the moment they lose possession. But look at, they're playing vertical from each other, and it's putting on so much more pressure than last call, who has to rely on 3Z for the most part to break these barriers. And when he does, it's great. But you can see the difference in how the attack patterns unfold when you have 2 people participating in the offense rather than 1. We see Borg come up there, use the barrage, isn't able to finish it off here. Energy burst being traded by both. And now it is Borg who is extremely low. We're managing to save these points here. Good defense between Borg and Fresh. But with the stagger bars looking like this, if they manage to put on some more pressure onto Borg specifically, they might end up in a power play situation.
Yeah, Borg is getting chipped down, and that now mine will be enough. Borg is now staggered, but the core is a little too fast. It goes around the map. And Night Market, a map known for that type of angle.
Yep.
It is 2-2 now, and last call, it's looking doable.
It is looking doable. Waterfury getting a little bit aggressive there, and I like the play from him, but just with the downsides or the cons of the aggression is that your goal is wide open. So if you don't make that play happen, then unfortunately you could lose the point like that. But again, the aggression pops off here as the combination of Waterfury and Dropleto break both barriers, and now we're going into an offense position. Pendulum Swing coming out, unable to find the core. One barrier being traded. 3Z Breezy has the energy burst, is going to try to get the rush in to break the second one, isn't able to find it, and is really low. No energy to his name here as Waterfury tries to just keep knocking him back there from the orb. It's still staggered, has orb up, or orb dancer up to try to live. Uses the primary, isn't able to catch it, and that final point is going to go over to Ghret Esports, who are going to move forward onto winner semifinals.
Yeah, and winner semis means they are in the best of 3 zone.
Yes.
Yeah, so Ghret Esports, out of the best of 1s, out of that volatility, now are in like the NASL type play there.
Yes, and this isn't it for last call. They will be. We were on winner side here, right? So they will end up going to the loser side, but that's it. Once they lose once more, they don't have another chance.
And unlike Ghret Esports, they're being sent to more best of 1s, more volatility. They'll have to be very careful against these loser side teams that do want to make it to top 8.
At what point does loser side become best of 3?
Top 8.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it should be, if I'm looking at the bracket correctly, last call, if they go to loser, like if they win their losers game, then they are in best of 3 territory.
Okay.
Yeah, but their first losers game that they have to play
is the best of 1.
Is the best of 1.
Okay, I mean that's going to be tough for last call. They didn't look bad here, but the aggression coming out from Ghret Esports was so high, and just the plays between Dropleto and you really saw how well I was piloting this now, and I don't think Borg played bad at all. I thought he was playing well. But this is a still relatively new position for Borg, and while he was piloting the midfield interactions well, I think the offensive plays were done just slightly better on the now.
Yeah, and of course, Ghret Esports in general, a team that has played together for quite a while now. Yes. Dropleto and I notably met in the meta channel of the official Omega Strikers Discord. So if you're watching this, if you're a chatter in OS Cord and you think that you can't do it, well,
anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it. But it does take a lot of effort.
That is true. And overall, there we saw how well the game was being played in this top 16 day. We're now getting a lot closer matches instead of group from the group. I should say from the group stages, just due to the nature of how seeding works out. This was seed 4 versus seed 5. Expect to see some more high quality matches coming out for the rest of the day.